Back in the day, if you had more than one GPU in your system, you knew that you were a cool kid or a really nerdy kid, and today we think they may be making a comeback.
With the help of a program called Lossless Scaling, you can take any old graphics card, slap it into your existing system with another GPU, and have dual GPU setup where you can get more FPS in games, and it's super easy. I don't really believe it, but we're gonna have to test it ourselves, and we will after a word from today's sponsor. Are you looking for a dream of a gaming laptop? Well, today's video sponsor, Dream Machine, certainly has you covered. Today we're showcasing their RTX 5060 lineup. Specifically, the model we have here features the latest AMD Ryzen AI7 350, a powerhouse of a CPU, and the RTX 5060 with a TGP of 115 watts, along with a 17-inch 1080p 144Hz display, perfect for those who prefer a bigger screen on the go. This laptop performs great in the latest titles and comes out of the box ready to go and without all that bloatware you would expect from the other brands on the market. To learn more about Dream Machines and all the laptops they have to offer, from 5060 to 5090s, check the links down below. And big thanks again to Dream Machines for sponsoring today's video. Now, let's get back to the video, shall we?
So we got level 10 clearance. ETA Prime has level 20 clearance, right, Matt?
Yes, he does have level 20 clearance because this video concept is not original. I'll be totally upfront with that. ETA Prime did this video where they used the program Lossless Scaling, which we have tested before a long time ago. Basically, it's upscaling in its own application. It is not a free app. You have to buy it on Steam. I think it's like $7 on Steam, but it allows you to get the upscaling you know and love in games on any graphics cards you want. And the reason that program is so cool is it comes with upscaling and frame gen. And one thing that ETA Prime figured out is that you can actually assign frame gen to a specific GPU, meaning you can offload the frame gen work on your main graphics card that is busy rendering the game to another graphics card to, in theory, improve the performance. Does it actually work in theory though, and what GPUs make sense for it? Well, that's what we're gonna do in today's video. We're gonna start with a combo that might make a little more sense, and even then, I don't think it really makes a ton of sense to do this in terms of price and performance, but that's what the testing is for. We're starting with a 4060 Ti 8GB, kind of a mid-range GPU that, let's say, a game like Borderlands 4 comes out, might struggle a bit to maintain 60 plus FPS, and we're gonna slap in everyone's favorite graphics card. Jackson, you wanna tell them all about that card?
Ooh, our favorite card, the RTX 3056 gig, which, I mean, if we're being honest, you know, just a light 1080p esports gaming card, but maybe today the 3056 gig will perform like a 5090.
It'll perform like a 5090 doing frame gen. It's gonna be great. But the reason we chose the 3056 gig is no external power requirements. It's very easy to buy new, and if you don't like it as your main GPU, why not make it a second GPU just for frame gen? And this might be the redemption arc for the 3056 gig for you guys at home. But in today's video, we're gonna install the GPUs. We're gonna try this feature with this current configuration, and at the end of the video, our ultimate goal, and Jackson and I are very excited about this, to run dual 3056 gigs using one for frame gen, one for gaming. That is the end goal. We're bringing the 3056 gig to the top of the charts. Don't worry about the 5090. That's the only GPU you need to worry about. But let's do the one that we know works first, and then we'll get a little more experimental. We haven't installed two GPUs in a system in a while, so I wanted to take both cards out to just demo installing both GPUs in our very overkill test bench. I will say I tried using our normal mid-range one, but with it being a B850 and having a Gen 4 SSD in the top slot, it disabled the bottom PCI slot because there's limited PCI lanes, which does make this, well, kind of difficult to replicate in other systems. So 9800X3D, because you'd be running a 9800X3D with a 4060 Ti 8GB and a 3056 gig, right?
Yeah, that's why we're here. So you guys, that's why we're in Science Lab coats, because we don't want you guys to have to do this crap at home.
So yeah, the big important thing to do is you need to make sure that your primary GPU is in the top slot. I mean, that's a no-brainer. It's what you normally do with any PC build. So we're gonna put our 4060 Ti 8GB up top, and we're gonna be running the 3056 gig in the bottom slot. But it is also important to know, once you get the driver set up on both, which for us, we just have to install NVIDIA drivers and it just works, you will need to run the video out from the 3056 gig, which requires some settings in Windows, which will show you guys how that works.
This definitely isn't how it was back in the day with like SLI and Crossfire, but you physically linked the cards together. In certain games, only certain games would take advantage of both of those GPUs, but otherwise the other GPU was just idle. It wasn't even being used. So this is interesting because this is almost like a Windows-wide setting in a way.
Yeah, so I got my GPU plugged in. We'll go ahead and plug up our 8-pin, and then Jackson will add the trusty 3056 gig to that bottom slot.
You know my favorite part? I don't even need to plug in no 8-pin. No required powered.
And with ETA
required.
Powered. I mean, you can use a powered GPU if you want to. I did try a 580-2048, which we may go back to in this video because you'll see some footage of me trying that. It wasn't working very well. I just think that GPU was really old, and I think this does still require a somewhat modern GPU to make sense. I think ETA Prime did like an ARC A380, which is a nice low-profile modern GPU that does have frame gen support. It is budget, but it is a GPU that could work well for this.
It's definitely not like the era of having two giant 1080 Ti's like that match and everything, you know?
All right, so we'll go ahead and put this over here. I love all the Asus stuff I'm using here. We're gonna use this nice OLED monitor they sent us that we've yet to use. This is obviously the best use case for this, by the way.
And we have like a full Asus build, so it's not really sponsored, but it works out.
Asus helps us do dumb experiments is what I like to say.
Yeah.
And they're okay with it, which is even better.
So it's pretty easy. So Matt plugged in the display port to our 3056 gig, so our bottom GPU, and then we give power to the monitor, and then should be ready to press the power button.
Look at this monitor, bro.
Dude, look at the red glow on the bottom. If only it said Asus, that'd go crazy. Or had their logo.
All right, power it up. I'll get a keyboard and mouse. We're gonna do this very live testing too, because the capture card is gonna be a mess. McAllister, I'm saving you the headache. We're gonna have two cameras, one recording the monitor, one recording this way, because, well, it's just gonna constantly re-record footage over and over again, so we're just not gonna do that.
I will say it's nice that we're like a more modern era where you don't need the SLI or the connector between the GPUs. Like, it kind of just works. Like, we have two GPUs in here that both have display out. We're using the bottom slot one, and it's displaying right away, even in the BIOS.
Now, the one thing you need to do, and it's very simple, but I will say it sometimes doesn't work very well, is you gotta enable one setting, and I will have a capture card footage here. We'll show you guys step by step what to do, but basically you need to go to settings. And what you're doing is making sure Windows knows, and you go gaming, game mode, graphics, advanced graphics, and then as you see right here, the default high performance GPU needs to be set to your high-end GPU, the 4060 Ti. This basically is the same thing that you see on like laptops, that when you launch a game that requires a high performance GPU, it knows to use that graphics card and it uses the 3056 gig as a pass-through. So
kind of like discrete versus integrated.
Exactly. So, and in theory, this could work with like an iGPU, but I have MSI Afterburner set up to where we have both the two GPUs on there, and we're just gonna launch games at, I'm gonna set this up to 1440p because I think that's reasonable for a 4060 Ti. In theory, this 3056 gig could help this GPU play at 4K. Oh God. In theory, this could help the GPU play at 4K, but I don't really think that's a great idea because it is still an 8 gig card. But we'll do some 1440p.
Combines, though.
Oh yeah.
So we have, what do we have, 14 gigs to work with here?
Oh yeah. But hey, we got Afterburner set up, we're good to go. And this will probably be a good time to show you guys lossless scaling before we actually dive into it.
It's the duck.
The duck. So Lossless Scaling, once again, you buy it on Steam. I think it's like $7 right now. We're really gonna be focusing only on the frame gen side of things. The scaling side, again, you can add extra upscaling, which they have support for all the main upscalers and some ones I've never heard of.
Nearest neighbor.
Nearest neighbor. That's similar to what you'd use in like Photoshop for like pixels. So pixel art, I know Zach deals with that a lot. The frame gen side of things, which we want to worry about. So we have the Lossless Scaling Frame Gen 3.1. We want to use that. Now we want to set it to fixed mode, which means it's just going to do a multiplier. So whatever your base frame rate is, multiply by 2. We can also do 3. We can also do 4. 4 is really crazy. It can go all the way up.
Oh my gosh.
To 20. But I will say, we'll do it just for the fun of it. It's going to break things. We're gonna go 2. Now this flow scale slider is very important because it basically calculates how high quality the frames are gonna be that are generated, and the higher this is, the more demanding it is on your GPU. So from experience, about 50 to 60 works really well with like a 3056 gig. If you have a higher end GPU, you can probably go 100, but we'll mess with that here. And this is just a performance slider that's on by default that helps less powerful GPUs. I just leave it on because I really didn't notice a difference that much. And then the last thing you have to do is you gotta pick the GPU that you wanna use for the upscaling. And right now it is set to the 3050, which you could do right on graphics. So you could use the iGPU if you wanted to, but we're gonna do the 3050. And then once we go into game, we're gonna hit scale, and then the frame should magically appear. Will they though? Let's find out. All right, guys, we are in Borderlands 4, which is a good test because I will say this game has gotten better since launch. It was kind of a disaster on launch originally, but it's gotten a lot better. But currently we're on the 4060 Ti. I don't know what settings we're running, but we are at 1440p. And we're at about 90 FPS, which I would say this is playable, but I think we are running slightly lower details.
Yes, so 1440p, no limits.
Advanced, you're on low.
Low, and we do have a DLSS, so we already have
That's true.
a little bit of upscaling set to balanced. Do we have anything else? Reflex is on, but yeah, just low preset.
Basically, I just wanted to see what this would run like if you just decided to run, you know, normal DLSS that comes out of the gate with your graphics card. And right now we're getting about
Very acceptable.
Yeah, 90 FPS, 2 stutters on the frame time graph. I will say this monitor is making this look so much better. Even on these low details, it looks really dang good. Not sponsored, by the way, but it just really looks good.
Oh.
What we'll do is after we run around here for a little bit, we'll turn off upscaling just to see what we're at without any sort of upscaling on these lower details. And then maybe even crank the details a bit so then we can actually see if just running higher details but with something like lossless scaling with FrameGen makes a lot of sense. Because you can see our GPU usage right now, 4060 Ti, pretty much maxed out, but our 3050 is just kind of chilling at 20%.
Yeah, so do you want to go ahead and try it?
Yeah, let's just turn off upscaling first, just so we can see what we have. Because I definitely think we're going to run the FrameGen. We're going to want to turn off upscaling. We're going to run just normal native settings.
So you want it raw?
Yeah, raw.
Not fun anymore.
Not as fun. And we're getting about 40 FPS.
You know, I was thinking the other day, I was like, I swear, because I put upscaling on, I was like, I feel like it makes the game look a good amount different.
It does.
Just me.
It might just make things a little softer, and I guess with this art style, it's definitely different. Oh, you ran out of ammo.
Yeah, I'm just like, I'm poor right now. All right, so now we're getting, it's much less playable. I mean, the frame times aren't great, and we're looking at like 50 to 60 FPS.
Which can work, but if you want to get, let's say, close to double, we can use lossless scaling, which we are on borderless window, which is important, by the way. You want to run borderless windowed, launch lossless scaling. All the settings we have are good to go. So basically, you just hit scale. Now go back to the game.
Oh, wait, countdown.
And then once you're in the game, it'll go ahead and start. Boom. Now that feels.
Yeah.
So if you look in the top left corner, it's kind of small. It'll show you what the base frame rate is, 58 FPS. But now we're getting about 120 FPS.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So we're about ×2. So it's not lying. It really is ×2. It's crazy. You can go up to like times, what is it, like ×18?
Let's just see how high it'll go. See before it starts getting weird is the fun part. So then you can just alt tab back and then unscale on the top right.
Let's try 4 times.
See what happens. And then we hit scale.
Wait for the magic. It's funny.
Oh yeah, that's because we're on a 240 hertz monitor, by the way. So in theory, we are feeling this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's pretty smooth. Yeah, I mean, I don't really feel any like major latency or input that like feels any worse than before. This is obviously not something that someone who's into competitive gaming would probably be doing. It's more of an experimental thing.
And I will say shout out to the creator of Lossless Scaling. It is a one-person team. This is made by one dude who just made this app and has been doing all this cool FrameGen stuff. So shout out to you, really well done. It's a cool addition. I know one thing that people really like this app for is like Steam Decks. You can do any old application. You can actually do upscaling for content that's like forced to 30 FPS only. So like there's some games that are older that are locked at 30. You can force upscale it to 60 with FrameGen and be good to go. This is probably gonna break some things, but let's see what happens. Oh! Oh, this looks so drunk.
Yeah, no, and it's but it is cool that they let us do it. I think that's the part that's most exciting to me.
You're capping out at 360 frames with FrameGen.
Yeah, which is probably that might be the cap overall, like in the game or Windows even. I don't know.
That is crazy. Now the last thing I do want to test, you can turn off upscaling. Let's just try normal FrameGen in game.
Okay.
And just see if there's a difference, because that's the biggest thing. Is if you're paying for an app, you're going to have to get extra features. Let's see if we crash the game here. Oh, we may have crashed the game. We may have to requeue. Oh, we're back.
There we go.
So we're back to our measly 50 to somewhat 60 FPS.
Not good enough.
Because like, why would you pay for an app if you could just turn on FrameGen in game? That's the question I want to know.
All right, so we'll do DLSS again.
Now, to be fair to Lossless, we probably shouldn't run any upscaling. You should probably run DLSS at native.
Mm-hmm. Or and just FrameGen.
And just FrameGen, because with Lossless, we're not running any upscaling. So full res and then FrameGen.
Yeah, definitely not.
Lossless did better.
Not 2 times.
Yeah.
And I will say this, I feel some input lag still.
Yeah.
It's better. Like, it's still cool that the NVIDIA card with DLSS is able to do this, but it's even cooler that this one-man team's able to get us double, triple, quadruple the FPS.
Just using an extra GPU. Now, we did mention some of the older cards might not work as well, so the 3050-60 being newer is more likely to work with this, but this is a good example, and even I'm seeing some weirdness going on with some of the FrameGen. Like, it's not, like, or maybe that's just the water reflections. Yeah, I think it's just water reflections. I don't really see anything that weird, but
it's weight wasting.
Just weight wasting. But hey, we're gonna try a couple different games, and then again, the ultimate goal at the end. Can we get 2 3056 gigs to work together to create the ultimate GPU? All right, guys, we are now in another game. We're in Spider-Man 2, which we may try Cyberpunk here in a minute. I was having issues where no matter, if I set like the base resolution of the monitor to 1440p, it kept trying to launch in 4K and I couldn't change the settings. So I was trying to force windowed and it just wasn't working. So that's a later problem. But currently we're running some higher details at 1440p. So we're looking at 1440p on very high. No ray tracing, we're just running normal here. I would say ray tracing probably would be a good benefit here because you can do upscaling to get some FPS that way, but we're getting close to 60. I think this is the ideal scenario, is like you want to run higher details and you're just very close to getting that 60 FPS, you're just a little bit below it. Can some lossless scaling help us out here? So first thing we'll do, we'll keep it consistent, is I'll just turn on normal upscaling. Let's just see what happens when we do some normal upscaling. So let's go, we'll DLSS, set to balance, we'll just run the legacy profile. Okay, so we have upscaling now, a little DLSS, we're swinging around here, and we're getting close to that lock 60, but not entirely there. And once again, with DLSS, you're not introducing the fake frames, the frames that are not actually there. You're really just upscaling a lower res image to native resolution, in our case 1440p. And I think it looks fine. I personally would run this if you don't want to deal with the frame gen, but I have a 240 hertz monitor. I want a little extra smoothness. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn off DLSS and we're going to go straight to some lossless scaling, ladies and gentlemen. So let's turn this off. We're going to leave this on legacy. Just keep running DLAA. That's what we had before. We're getting the same 50 or so FPS. Now let's go to lossless scaling, ×2, hit scale. Oh, there they are. Okay, look, it feels smooth. It's not as dramatically smooth though, I will say, because it looks like our base frame rate is actually getting lower than we were in Borderlands. We're actually hitting 30 FPS at some points, and it's causing some weirdness. Like look at Spider-Man when I'm moving around it sometimes. It's like some ghosting that's happening there. Not as good, I'll be honest with you, and that frame time graph is all over the place. Now, I will say this is pretty consistent when I tested it off camera before the video. Something about Spider-Man just didn't work amazing with this. And also our GPU isn't really even fully being maxed out right now, which is interesting, especially on 3050 60, it's not being maxed out right now. So I don't know if this game just doesn't like it as much. I mean, in this scenario, it technically has a higher frame rate, but it's a little wonky, I would say. Let's see.
It's ×18.
Yeah, I think we should just make it even higher, right? Let's just see what ×18 can do. Yeah, why not? When it doesn't work, let's just make it worse, shall we?
Break it.
Oh!
But how many FPS though?
360.
So that has to be like maybe lossless scaling as a cap?
Maybe it was like kind of capping itself a little bit. Oh, no, it's like drunk Spider-Man.
You know, I feel like I'm watching the Miles Morales one, like the cartoon animation where it's kind of stop motion.
Yeah, I kind of want to play.
Anyone else see that?
This is how you want to play the game. This game, and then our GPUs are just higher, so it is using it more. So, I mean, it's better. I will say it's not as dramatic as it was with Borderlands. This is not better, by the way. Don't think that 18 times is what I'm saying as a recommendation. No, I would say the 2 times is better. But the big thing I wanted to test in this video, see if I can go back without it breaking, is just turning on frame gen in game. This one might be better where the frame gen in game just makes more sense. So we'll turn on frame generation, just be ×2, DLSS frame gen. And then legacy, so no upscaling, still the same. Just run this frame gen built in. It's kind of having the same behavior. So our GPU just might be kind of bottlenecked at these settings, and then the upscaler just is like, I don't know what you want me to do. So again, depends on the game, depends on the scenario of the GPU. For whatever reason, Borderlands worked really, really well. This game, not so much. But hey, we're gonna test a couple of different games and we'll see if that's consistent across the board. But this one's a little weird, but you are technically getting more FPS.
All right, y'all, we are in Oblivion Remastered, and we are not running settings we would normally run for this game because we're running 4K. And on a 4060 Ti, I don't even really recommend 4K on a 5090 yet, but we're in a borderless 4K, and we're running medium, which also at 4K I wouldn't recommend. We even have ray tracing on, no upscaling even. I mean, this is just, we're like Minch Marcus. You may be beautiful, but you can't be playing at this FPS, Minch Marcus.
Now, the reason it's at 4K is because we're using a 4K monitor for whatever reason. If you're trying to, like, let's say we were going to do 1440p, we set the monitor to 1440p, went in game, went windowed borderless, it didn't think it was the right resolution, and the game kept crashing over and over and over again. So that's the reason I'm doing this. To be fair to lossless scaling, we'll probably do the lossless scaling with some upscaling help already on, because, you know, might as well. We haven't tested that yet, so we'll see how that works.
Yeah.
But this is not playable right now.
Yeah, let's try, I mean, because we know we're like 30 or less FPS. Let's just go ahead and try lossless scaling with no upscaling.
Yep.
Just see. We'll
At
do,
18.
Let's try 2 times first.
Because in theory, this should get us to 60.
In theory?
In theory. Wait a minute. That actually, oh, as that, look at the, it's doing the thing.
Oh yeah, wow, it's already doing it.
It's doing the
and
thing.
And it feels weird.
Yes.
I would say everything, it feels behind.
Yeah. It's like when we run frame gen on a budget GPU.
Yeah, now, if I had to choose between the two, I think I would still choose this. So we got that going for
Play
us.
Drunk Oblivion, I mean, might as well.
Yeah, some Drunk Oblivion. All right, so 2 times is a little weird. Let's try maybe getting a little more FPS first. So we won't do frame gen yet in the game. We'll do that separately, obviously, but let's try. Didn't you have, no. Oh yeah, we gotta do this, I forgot. So DLSS, performance, turn frame gen off, because double frame gen
might break things.
I kind of wonder what would happen. Maybe we'll give that a go just for fun.
Oh wait, ooh.
Okay.
So now we're hitting 125.
Because our base is 60 now.
Yes. Which I think that's the key, is like you can get 30 to 60, but you're gonna get that like kind of grossness. If it has more frames to work with, it can insert those fake frames better.
So maybe the rule of thumb is try to get to 60 first before you do anything else.
Yes.
So this is pretty good. Okay, let's go a little Jonah here. A little stunted scamp, if you will. Not too bad. All right, let's try
like the native frame gen, or are you gonna try getting it better?
Let's try one more. Let's go on 4. We only did one.
Sure.
Let's go 4. So we get to do that.
Yes.
I got the freeze. Oh gosh, it's so
200
smooth.
FPS. It's actually not.
It's
a little bit, but it's not as bad as what we did from 30.
It is crazy, like how we're getting like this is smooth.
This is a 4K 240 hertz OLED, and we're feeling it.
Yeah, but obviously you can see some turning here. There's a little bit of weirdness happening, but still, I mean, it's just cool. Like this is a single man crew, and this is early on. I mean, we just discovered this with ETA Prime. Who knows where this could, where this could go? Maybe Windows and Linux and stuff like that could have a built-in lossless scaling like this. But yeah, now let's try to verse the real game, because I will say, with this game is really good about their upscaling.
Yeah, so in theory it could be about the same, but we don't know that yet.
Yeah, so DLSS mode to performance. So do we want to just
just leave it the same, just do frame gen.
Since we did have it.
We had it for the other one, so might as well have it for this one.
Which this card doesn't allow you to choose like what frame gen you want.
The FPS is lower.
And I will say it doesn't feel amazing. I feel like Lossless Scaling felt slightly better.
That's
like, because
crazy.
I don't know if you see the map. I don't know, it feels oddly behind, you know?
That's the thing. I thought, you know what? I'm glad we proven wrong, because I just honestly thought that the in-game upscaling would be just fine. But I guess there is actually a benefit to having a GPU to do frame gen.
Yeah, I mean, this is cool. And like we said, this is early on, so who knows, if it gets enough coverage, this could become like a thing that just gets better with time.
I think it's time to do the devious activity. We killed Benchmarkus, but now it's time to put two 3056 gigs in this bad boy. We're gonna run both of those GPUs, we're gonna install it, it's gonna be the greatest thing you've ever seen, and then we're gonna try to figure out which one's which, and see if we can get it to work, and if we can, that's gonna be really cool. Let's try it. It's a downgrade upgrade.
Yeah, we keep joking that it's an upgrade. Guys, we like 3056 gig, but we're technically downgrading. We're going from a 4060 Ti, which is probably less realistic, honestly, because if you have that card and you're able to afford it, I feel like you're pretty close to just being able to get like a 5070. Now, if you have a 3056 gig, that's like the cheapest card you can buy.
Maybe you just buy another one. Now, the models we have here are a little expensive. I think I pay like $180 for these. They have the Paladin cards, which are single fan cards, which I think will be really popular for this if you do go down this rabbit hole. Yeah. $155 for those.
And then external power price is pretty cool, so maybe a P520 or something like that. You know, those have a lot of PCIe lanes on them.
I can see so many possibilities, guys. The biggest thing is just making sure your motherboard will support dual GPUs in both slots.
Yeah.
And there could be some limitations where your card could only run at 8x or 4x. You just gotta, that's the biggest thing here, and obviously this appeals to budget gamers, so that's gonna be the biggest downside, but we'll see. We'll see how this works, and maybe we'll test in more budget stuff.
Oh, dude, when they match, it just looks so good.
This is like when you were gonna go dual 7770s back in the day.
Yep. I'm kind of sad. I should have done that. I would have learned a lot. But wow, this looks amazing. This is Instagram worthy for sure. I will be getting a picture of this. Wow, I never thought the day would come. I'd be SLIing, which I guess it's not SLI anymore, is it?
No, we're just running duals.
Just dual.
Dual wheel.
No external power too. We're gonna be sipping on power. Our 9800 X3D is gonna pull more than the GPUs.
Now let's hope this just turns on. Again, we still gotta use the I guess the bottom GPU. Still the bottom GPU. And I'm hoping things don't change too much to where it's hard for me to figure out which is which, but we'll make it work.
Yeah, technically it's like, does it even matter now if it's the bottom or the top? Like why doesn't that make a difference, you know?
I guess it needs to pass through the GPU you're using for frame gen. Is kind of how it works. Could
that almost be either one now?
It could be. It could be either one. But hopefully, I think the most ideal solution is to make sure it is the bottom one. But how do I know it's the bottom one? I don't know.
Well, it's plugged in, so
let's just see if it works at least first. That's the biggest thing.
Oh, it's beautiful. God, so this feels like Benchmarkers. Like when you load up Benchmarkers, that's how dual 3050s feel.
Here we go, baby. We're going in. Let's go.
Man, like I said, it's so cool that we can do that. Like this feels like it wouldn't just work. You know what I mean? But we're in the BIOS. We're not even in Windows yet, where we have the setting configured.
Yeah, to be fair, it did not work on the other system, on the other test bench. I was about to give up this idea until I got this working. So
yeah, it's cool that it just works in our $1,000 test bench.
Now let's see. Where's my mouse?
Do we have a mouse?
I have a mouse. Let's see if let's crank this down a little bit. Yeah, I just want to make sure
both. You have to have 2 NVIDIA apps.
I think it's going to try to install drivers again. Oh, there it goes. All right, here it is. It's going to install.
So we have to have 2 NVIDIA drivers.
We do, and the only way I've known it to work, and I haven't tried, because how do you install the same driver twice? Ah, there they are!
Heck yeah.
So they're GPU 4 and 5 now. Why, I don't know, because there's only 0, 4, and 5.
And look, we got little spikes where even the one that's, like, I guess it'd be the secondary, is slightly, here and there it's being used, so that's good.
So hopefully I can transition that over to Afterburner so I can show it how it looks like, but I'll check in if I have any problems, but I think we should be able to get this up and running, and then we'll dive back into the start, some Borderlands.
Yeah, so this is Fortnite. No, I'm just kidding.
Borderlands. I don't know what settings we're running right now, though. We're at 1440p. Maybe 1080p would make more sense for upscaling for these cards, but we're at 1440.
Nah.
What settings are we at right now? Low, and we even have DLSS on.
Yeah.
So
you know what? 1440. I'm surprised it's even doing it. Okay.
Yeah, okay, we got something. Now
this is something.
It was an absolute shot in the dark to figure out which one was the 3056 gig, but I think, you know what, now I said that, to figure out which one was the frame gen 3056 gig. But as you can see right now, one of them is 99%, the other one is 0.
I just like when it was a shot in the dark to figure out which ones, I'm like, they're both
3050. I could be right about that just by picking whichever one. So I think I picked the right one on preferred GPU because the usage started going, he's going 3, straight to 3.
I feel like 2 just isn't going to be enough, you know?
And we're scaling. GPU usage is up.
Ooh.
And it's looking drunk.
Oh no, I'm out of ammo.
But it's working. Our GPU, the other GPU is being used slightly, about 15%, 20%, 59% at times, but it looks incredibly drunk. The frame times are just crazy right now.
I might just die here.
It's okay.
I'm struggling to
get the frames.
Oh, I got one. Let's go. All right, let's try.
Is there anything lower we can do in game?
Oh, we definitely. Yeah, definitely. we don't even have to be doing 1440p.
No, that's fine. That's normal. Yeah.
We really can't do anything lower besides resolution. I mean, I could change this to
ultra performance.
Yeah.
See what that does, and then run.
And enable frame gen and.
Oh, this might do it. This might do it.
It made it kind of ugly.
It looks ugly,
playable.
But this might get us to a smooth experience with some frame gen.
I'm just saying, 3056 gig.
Here we go.
Just saying, it's 1440p in a game that's not supposed to run in anything.
All right, turn that lossless back on.
Right.
I gotta see it.
I'm gonna do 2 times because I think 3 times is a little too much for it. I hope we can get past the drunkness, you know.
And it's still kind of drunk.
A little drunk, yeah. This might just be a little too much of a game for these GPUs, you know?
Yeah, well, maybe I think we have a game on here that might be more 3056 gig friendly. We'll try that. But yeah, this is a tough game for these dual GPUs. I mean, it's better, but is it one of those where I would probably run the entire game that way? Probably not, but at least works.
Let's try like
one more.
Well, how we normally did. We'll do
Oh yes. The native upscaling, the native frame gen. I mean, will it even support it?
I don't know.
Because the problem is 3056 gig, if it's not using FSR upscaling, it does not have frame gen.
So we're doing FSR upscaling, or it's basically just running it like the best it could do at 1440p.
If we did not have our app. It still has the weirdness.
Yeah, it definitely is like...
It's not great. Also, you are using the gun that shoots in slow motion, so that's probably not helping the vibes.
Oh, okay, I have ammo now, thank goodness. All right, you're now a normal gun. Yeah, okay, that's not bad. That's not too bad. It's not amazing, but it's still a 3056 playing 1440p, so... You know what? I'm just proud to be here.
Well, let's try to find a game that might make more sense and run it at 1080p.
All right, so you know, you're playing Apex Legends, and of course you're running a 3056 gig. you know, at 1440p, and you're playing very high settings. Like, what else would you be doing with your 3050? I gotta say, I'm like shocked that this
It's actually kind of playable.
It is kind of
firing
freaking
range,
playable.
but
I don't know. This 80 FPS and like kind of like the latency just isn't cutting it for me. I mean, I have my OLED monitor that costs more than my 3050s, and I'm not seeing my 240 hertz. So
you only have $155 plus you already own Lossless Scaling.
Well, this game doesn't even have. It doesn't have upscaling.
See, there you go. Old games.
I'm old. It's an old game. All right. Let's just aim for, yeah, if we can just double it, that'll be plenty, right? That'd be good. That'd be good. All right, here we go. Can we double it and have it smooth? Ooh. Define smooth.
Why is it? It looks extra pixely now.
It is.
Now, one thing you can do is mess with that flow scale bar, which it does improve the quality of it.
Okay. Let's try that.
We haven't done that
gotten to do that yet. 80%? It's 20 more percent. I don't know if that's a percent, but it's something. I think it looks a little better.
It does look a little better.
But
It
I will
doesn't look
say
as smooth, though.
Oh, the latency is just something else. Like, it doesn't show it in a number, but you done feel it. You done feel it. That's for sure.
Yeah.
It definitely seems like when we had a better GPU, the 3050 was able to do like a lot better. But having two of the same low-end GPUs maybe doesn't make the most sense for this.
I know some people making the jokes of like, you think the 1080 Ti is legendary now, imagine two 1080 Ti's. I don't know how well that would work very well. I mean, it probably had the same scenario. I think it does work best if you use a low-end budget GPU, a budget option like a 3056 gig, in supplement with a mid-range card. Is it still price performance worth it? Probably not. Sell your GPU and just buy a better single GPU, but it's cool. And I think the biggest thing, and Jack and I were talking off camera, it'd be cool is if this becomes a viable option where FrameGen can easily run on iGPUs in the future. Because in that regard, you can have a budget GPU, run some FrameGen on your iGPU, and get more performance that way.
Well, and you got to think everybody has that scenario.
Yep.
People don't do this. People don't have this scenario, but pretty much everyone, as long as you have like any new Ryzen, they all have integrated graphics, and most Intel also has integrated graphics.
So this was fun. I would not recommend this to anybody, but we were able to make it work. It's not recommended at all, but fun with Lossless Scaling. Shout out to Lossless Scaling for making a really cool program that is very affordable on Steam, and you should definitely get it if you are wanting to experiment this at home. But let's wrap this video up real quick, and it's been a long day. Let's put up our lab coats.
Well, that was definitely an interesting experience and experiment. I mean, the fact that we were able to just get two GPUs of different varieties even working was already really cool to me, but then on top of that, the fact that the FrameGen thing, it works. Lossless Scaling, it works. It's just within fine lines and within fine reason. It needs to be like a very specific test to be good.
Yeah, it needs to be a very specific use case. Some games, as you saw, worked better than others. Borderlands was like the best example we had, especially when using the 4060 Ti with the 3056 gig. But I mean, the dual 3056 gig, as much as we wanted it to dethrone the 5090, it just ain't gonna do it. It's just not gonna work that way. Both GPUs are too low end. It works much better with a slightly higher end GPU and a budget GPU, and then maybe in the future, iGPUs could swap in for those 3056 gigs, so you don't have to spend the money on it. But in terms of a program that was made by one person and is available on Steam, Lossless Scaling, awesome. Absolutely love it for FrameGen and upscaling needs, and buy it on Steam if you want it. And if you guys plan on doing this experiment yourself, let me know how it goes down below and what pairings you're gonna be doing, because there's a lot of different ways you could go about this.
But yeah, we hope you guys enjoyed today's experiment. If you did, make sure you check out our other two YouTube channels and also our twitch.tv/ToastyBros, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
See you guys in the next one. Bye.
Now that program costs $7 in order to get better performance, but if you just go to PC Bros and spend a couple thousand, you can get a lot more performance.
Mind blown! But all jokes aside, if you just want to upgrade your PC instead of doing these trickeries that you can do, go to PCBros.tech, buy a PC today, use code ToastyBros on checkout, you will save 3% off your next purchase. See you guys later. Bye-bye.
No fake